All right, let's talk about something that's on pretty much every parent's mind these days, keeping our kids safe online. We're going to break down a really practical guide to do just that. So let's jump right in.
Wow. Armies of marketers. That quote really hits hard, doesn't it? It frames the problem perfectly. We're not just dealing with kids stumbling onto a few bad websites anymore. No, this is about a highly organized, deliberate system that's been designed to grab and hold our children's attention. And that's the real challenge we're facing.
So, the first thing we have to do is really wrap our heads around this new battlefield. I mean, think about it. Your kid is right there, safe in their room. You can see them. But where is their mind? The real fight for their attention, for their values, well, that's all happening on a screen you can't always see.
And this is where it all starts, right? We hand our kids a tablet, maybe a phone, for homework, for entertainment, and we don't even realize we're giving them this all-access pass, a key to a world that's been specifically designed to suck them in. And it's a world we often have zero control over.
This right here, this is the real anxiety for modern parents. It's this huge gap between physical safety and digital safety. Yeah, they're at home. They're physically safe with you. But their mind? Their attention? It could be literally anywhere in the world, wandering through the internet. That's a pretty scary thought.
Okay, so let's pull back the curtain and see how this actually works. Because none of this is by accident. The source material is super clear on this. There is a deliberate, step-by-step process with one main goal: to turn your child into a customer.
And you've got to get this. The reason your kid can't put down the phone isn't some lack of willpower. It's because thousands of marketers are running experiments every single day to figure out how to keep them hooked for just one more second. It's a science, and it's aimed right at them.
And this is the playbook they use. It's a funnel. First, they lure your child in with a shiny ad or a viral video. Then, step 2, they get them hooked on content that the algorithm knows they'll love. From there, it's a short jump to pushing subscriptions and in-app purchases. And boom, the final step. Your kid becomes, as the source puts it, an ATM.
Yeah, I know, that quote is intense. Breaking their will. It's harsh, for sure, but it really drives home the long-term goal here. This isn't about one little purchase. It's about getting in early, shaping their habits, and creating a paying customer for life.
All right, so we've laid out the problem. And honestly, it can feel pretty huge and overwhelming. I get it. But here's the good news. We're about to shift from just talking about the problem to taking action. It's time to talk about a real plan for taking back control. And I absolutely love this concept from the source. They call it speed bumps. We're not trying to build this giant, impenetrable wall around our kids, because let's be honest, that's just not realistic, right? Instead, we're just installing these simple, practical little safeguards. Things that slow down the endless scroll, create a bit of friction, and make it harder for the bad stuff to get through.
You know, what's really interesting is where this guide even came from. The author was inspired by a sermon about rizq, which is this idea of provision or sustenance. He realized his provision was this knowledge, and that the best way he could give back, his charity, was to just share it with everyone. I think that's a beautiful way to look at it. Okay, so let's get to the good stuff, the actual toolkit. The guide breaks it all down into 8 specific safeguards, 8 of those speed bumps that you can start putting in place to build up your home's digital defenses. And this chart lays it out so clearly. It breaks the whole strategy down into 4 main areas. First, you've got the network itself, things like your router settings. Then you move to the device, your kid's phone or tablet. After that, you've got the content, like apps that can blur stuff you don't want them to see. And finally, and this is a big one, it's about habits, using tools to get a handle on those super addictive short videos and creating focused time. Now, if you're listening to this and thinking, I am not a tech person, I can't do any of this, hold on. This part is a total game changer. You do not have to figure this out alone. The guide points to actual 24/7 phone support where you can get a real person to walk you through everything step by step. So any parent can do this. Okay, we've talked a lot about tech, but now we're going to get to what might be the most important piece of this whole puzzle. Because after you set up all the filters and blockers, you have to remember, technology is only a tool. It is not the whole solution. This quote just nails it. If we only rely on blocking things, it can actually create bigger problems. I mean, think about it. You block something without talking about it. What's the first thing a curious kid wants to do? Figure out how to get around the block. That just pushes them to be more secretive and can lead to way worse situations. So the source points out 3 big mistakes parents often make. Number 1, just focusing on blocking stuff instead of helping your child build their own internal compass.
Number 2, being way too harsh about it, which just makes kids hide things from you. And number 3, just letting them go online completely unsupervised, without ever having a real conversation about it.
And that brings us to the ultimate takeaway here. Those techie speed bumps, they're your first line of defense for sure. They're important. But the real shield, the one that can't be broken, that's your relationship with your child. A strong connection, open conversations, and just a loving, safe home environment. That's the most powerful protection you can possibly have.
And this last quote, man, it just highlights how urgent this is. When should you start building these boundaries? Now. The source even jokes when the child is still in the womb. The point is start early, because they really do grow up faster than you can possibly imagine. The habits you set today are what really matter.
So, we want to leave you with this one question. And the goal here isn't to make you feel overwhelmed, it's to empower you. Don't try to do all 8 things tomorrow. Just look at the options, think about your own family, and ask yourself this. What is the one safeguard, the one simple step you can build today?